Hey folks, welcome back to the show. This is the Workplace Innovator podcast. I'm your host, Mike P. Very excited to have another new guest join us today on the podcast. He is someone in the world of hospitality, everybody. This is a topic we've discussed here many times, but not recently. And I love the fact that we have the chance as FM and workplace leaders to make changes in our built environment, in the physical workplace, to really impact how people thrive and flourish and how they can become more productive in the work they do. So with that said, please help me welcome from my home state of New Jersey, DJ Mike P., born and raised in New Jersey before moving here to Washington, D.C. He is Chief Growth Officer at Dartcor Enterprises, where he helps organizations use hospitality to create workplaces that strengthen culture, connection, and employee engagement. Right up our alley here on the Workplace Innovator podcast. So Jason Leeds, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and I can't wait to hear more of your story. How's everything in the Garden State?
It's always sunny in the Garden State. New Jersey is thriving. Thanks for asking.
And there's a lot of farmland. People don't realize. They think of New Jersey, they think of the, immediate suburbs outside of New York City. But I grew up in mid-central New Jersey, South Jersey, beautiful farmland, cornfields. In fact, midsummer, there's the yellow and the Silver Queen corn is thriving, I'm sure.
Exactly. And yeah. We're on the cusp of tomato season as well, which is a big point of pride here in New Jersey.
Absolutely. Jersey tomatoes. Can't beat them.
Yep.
Well, it's great to have a chance to chat with you. I want to hear a little bit more about your story. You are both the Chief Growth Officer at Dartcor and also the founder of Chelsea Hospitality Group. Explain that to everybody. What is it you actually do?
Yeah, so Dartcor Enterprises is really a family of businesses that's unified around one mission. And that's to use the power of hospitality to inspire human connection and unlock the potential of our communities. So across our ecosystem, which is Dartcor Hospitality, which is our workplace business, Chelsea Hospitality, which is our restaurant and public-facing business, and Ohm Caterers, which is our off-premise catering business. We approach hospitality not as a decoration or an amenity, but as cultural infrastructure, a way to shape how people gather, connect, and create spaces that they're naturally drawn to.
Wonderful. Perfect for this show, Jason. It's something we talk about a lot, as I mentioned, and I can't wait to get into some more of your story and perspectives and maybe some advice for my audience of workplace leaders. But before we go there, I mentioned the DJ Mike P persona. It's something I lean into because I love music. I grew up listening to music. To this day, it's my happy place. How about you? Do you have a favorite song or artist or type of music that gets you inspired?
Yeah, so I knew you asked this question, and I was looking through my Spotify yesterday, and if you look at my most played music, unfortunately, I have the Moana soundtrack at the very top.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's because of my children. I love them.
Sure.
But beyond that, it's really the artist that I most recently saw live. It's Zach Bryan, Bruce Springsteen, of course, Noah Kahan. And I like music that's easy for a lot of people to sing and to sing together. Like it's those moments where everyone's in an arena singing the same song together that I live for, and reminds us why connection matters so much.
I love it. Yes. Oh, nothing like a concert to bring people together, and we have that moment of common interest and born in the USA, whatever it might be, Bruce Springsteen. But I'm okay if you want to sing a little Moana, to see it calls me. No one knows where we'll go. I'm a big Disney guy, Jason. It's all good.
They're catchy songs. And
they are.
Lin-Manuel Miranda
brilliant.
is a talented guy.
Brilliant guy. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, the other thing I like to do before we go too far is inspire the audience through quotes. Do you have a favorite motivational quote you could share with us?
Yeah, so the one that comes to mind first is from Will Guidara. So Will Guidara is the author of Unreasonable Hospitality, amazing book if you haven't read it before, cool. And was the owner of 11 Madison Park, famous restaurant in New York City that was the world's #1 restaurant when he was running it. And the quote goes, every single time you have an opportunity to make someone's day, you should take that opportunity. And, in our business, what we try to encourage with our team is this isn't about really moving mountains, right? It's little things. There's another expression that we like to use, ABCD to ABCD, always be collecting the dots to always be connecting the dots. And that's where you can find these little opportunities. And it could be, the extra dessert for a birthday. It could be a Tide stick when you notice someone has a coffee stain on their shirt. Or as simple as remembering someone's name or their drink preference when they come in.
I like it. No, I like that a lot, Jason. It's aligned so nicely with the philosophy here about innovation. Workplace Innovator is all about, to me, those incremental changes, advancements, trial and error, things that we try and experiment with, new strategies, technologies, tools, whatever it might be, that doesn't change the world overnight, but it moves the needle slowly. And then all of a sudden we look back 5 or 10 years and the whole world is different. And that sounds like what you're doing through your business. What does it mean, though, to you if I ask you the question? You came on this show. I appreciate it. The term Workplace Innovator, what does it take to be innovative in our workplaces today?
I think, from our perspective, what we focus on a lot is really putting hospitality at the forefront of every decision when it comes to designing a workplace and programming a workplace. When you put hospitality at the forefront of those decisions, it creates spaces that are magnetic, right? And it's really about asking yourself, how do I want people to feel when they show up in the office, right? It's not, and how can you make that feeling be super sticky, something that they crave? We think a lot about, the places that people spend time at outside of work, whether they're hotels or restaurants or members clubs, and the hospitality that those places deliver, and infuse those into the workplace environment so they become places that people are naturally drawn to.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's something that is not maybe in the core remit of a lot of my listeners. They're in the facility management space, but it absolutely is connected. They work and collaborate across the aisle with HR, and they work with leadership teams to have that, what you mentioned, is a holistic view of the workplace, the built environment. And I believe everybody has a role to play. And I wonder, when it comes to your role and you see these opportunities out there to communicate some of these ways to build that culture and connection among humans, it's right up my alley. I love this topic. What are you most focused on here in the middle of 2026 to make that happen?
I think for us, we're really focused on this return to work, challenge that we all face right now, right?
Sure.
And I think it presents an incredible opportunity for us to rethink, right, what the workplace is supposed to feel like. The office, is no longer a default, right? For decades, the office didn't have to justify itself, right? Now it does, right? We need to give people a reason to come into these offices. And it's really a lot about invoking that feeling. And so, when I talk about, looking to hotels and looking at restaurants and members clubs for cues, we're really focused on the details. Like, it's almost like you're building a movie set, right? How do you want your audience, your guests, to feel when they come into the space? What does it smell like in the lobby when they walk into the space? What's the music that's playing? Are there fresh cut flowers that are there to greet them? We look at, staff uniforms, right? Our staff uniforms are much more similar to staff uniforms that you would see at a high end hotel, right? All of those things sort of add up to create this culture of hospitality amongst our team that translates into the workplace and the guests that we serve.
I love this, Jason. Absolutely. It's this idea. And I do think the facility management role is one that has a direct impact on this, because you mentioned it. Remembering people's names and understanding their needs and anticipating their needs is something we talk a lot about here. And my community at IFMA often mentions that there's these small little levers you can pull and make a huge difference in someone's day and allow them to have a wonderful workplace experience. So you're preaching to the choir, but I love it. This is good, inspiring stuff. What role, if any, does technology play in all this? I know we have a lot of tools out there that can anticipate people's needs and create frictionless experiences, to use a industry buzzword. But what do you think about the role of technology in broad terms that will impact the hospitality of an environment?
The first thing that comes to mind really is another quote that came up when I was brainstorming, knowing you were going to ask this, is that change is inevitable, progress is intentional. We see this wave of AI that's happening right now, right? Sure. We've been embracing AI wholeheartedly, right? Because my belief is that if we can use AI to take some of the tasks off of our plate, it can actually make us more human. It'll give us more time away from our screens, more time with our team members, more time with our guests, to deliver that, hospitality experience that we want and human connection.
Yeah, it's a way of looking at it, right? You're going to be kind of focused on the worries and the fears of the unknown and what's going to happen with AI if they're able to automate a lot of the things we currently do, or you're going to focus on that human side, which is what we do here, and say, yeah, we can use these tools to free us up to then focus more on those emotional intelligence skills that only humans can bring to the table, the understanding of that other person and what they are going through, and then also being able to create those feelings like you mentioned. I love that when you're describing it as creating an environment where people feel they belong and they feel productive and they feel connected. I think that is so, so important. With that in mind, I mentioned again the role of the facility management professional, real estate leaders broadly. In your interactions with our industry, what have you learned about those roles, those professions, and where do you think we're going? What do you think the role will look like, and how does it connect to this hospitality deliverable?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think hospitality needs to be isolated to the hospitality provider alone, right? It really takes a concerted effort. So we work hand in hand with facilities management teams, with HR teams, with IT teams, because, everything needs to be firing on all cylinders. When people, consciously decide to make the commute, to show up into the office, the Zoom rooms need to work. The building needs to be operating. It needs to be at the right temperature and comfortable for everyone. The rooms need to be set up appropriately. We go as far as, all of our coffee mugs at the pantries need to be on a 45-degree angle on the right side of the coffee machine, so it's super easy to grab the handle. All of the chairs in the conference rooms are at a 45-degree angle, so you can just slide right into them. Those little details all add up, and it takes, as I said, a concerted effort amongst all of those teams to deliver that for our guests.
Sounds like being intentional is important. And really, there's a science to this, right? There's something we can learn based on past experiences and understanding of how humans respond and behave. With that in mind, I know that a lot of this is all about communicating the message, the value, telling the story of hospitality or whatever we're discussing here. What are your thoughts on change management and the ability to better communicate some of the value of what we're talking about here today?
So we've actually seen, and again, we're big on technology, right? And we use all of the digital means to communicate, right? Send emails. There's a lot of times internal, I'll call it social media within our properties, right? Prop tech, as you know, that we use to get the word out. But where we've seen the greatest impact is actually when a building or property installs a hospitality director and a team of hospitality, what we call hospitality attendants, that are there to help just facilitate, right? To show people, right? I'm thinking what's coming into my head right now is, there's a ground up build that we run the hospitality in, that we were a part of, designing and now we're operating. And everyone needed to like learn about the building and all of the different amenities that there were. And the hospitality leads that are sort of roaming around every single floor to help you book a room or, get you IT support, have that Tide stick ready if you got a stain on your shirt, give you a toothbrush if you're coming off of an overnight flight and you need to freshen up a little bit. So it's having that like concierge style service that gets people to interact with all the different things that are in a space, right? And bring that space to life. What we often say too is that hospitality is just as much an important part of the infrastructure as a building as the drywall, right?
Yeah.
And it's what brings these buildings to life and takes things out of black and white and puts them into color.
And creating that movie set type feeling that you're creating a deliberate environment where people can flourish and thrive. It's wonderful, and it's a great message and perfect for my audience. As we kind of wind down here, I'm wondering how you feel about the future of this space. I know that the return to office, conversation has dominated the news over the past 5 or 6 years, but we've here on this show been long past that. It's more nuanced. It's more, an area of we want people to feel empowered, have flexibility and choice, but we also want to take advantage of what happens when human beings get together in real life and have those interactions and those, connections. And you've discussed it all very eloquently. Where do you think we go from here in like 5 to 10 years? You mentioned your daughter. How old is she? Listening to Moana?
I have 3 sons.
Three sons. They're listening to Moana.
I have 2 in 3 months.
I'm right along with them. I shouldn't have some daughters because I have 2, but again, the soundtrack of our lives is the latest Disney movie. But as you look to their future and heading into the world of work and the workplace, do you think it's going to look different than today?
I think it's going to look very different.
Okay.
Right. I think with AI, as it's going to have a powerful impact on the economy overall. I think, as you said, the workplace is going to continue to have a more flexible use, right? Hybrid is sort of the way of the future. But I'm super excited about it, right? I think, these changes present a lot of opportunity, right? And I think what we're going to see is a more experience-based workplace, right? A more hospitality-focused workplace. Again, sort of like a merging of where people choose to spend their time outside of work and at the office. Like we talk a lot about the office, sort of feeling a lot like a hotel that people choose to take trips to, right?
Sure.
Or a members club, right? Where it's very similar in a way because you have a captive audience, the same people that are showing up again and again. This is a place that people are proud to show up to. That is how we approach it. They're proud to host their employees at, right? If they're an HR leader, and they're proud to host their guests at too, right?
Yeah.
A great place for entertaining clients and visitors.
I agree with you, Jason, wholeheartedly. And that experience that you're describing, whether we go to a great hotel or to a Disney park, let's tie it all together with the Disney theme. I mean, I have a great affinity and affection for visiting the Disney parks, and what they do there that is so exceptional are all these things you're describing. Those little moments with the guests, these cast members are trained so well to create that wonderful magical experience. So I think that's what we can do in our workplaces, and I'm inspired by your message. With that in mind, and as we run out of time, do you have any final thoughts for my audience as we head into the future of the workplace together?
I think I'm going to go back to my original quote and just and give everyone the advice is if you can find a way to make someone's day, take that opportunity and play a small part in making the world a better place.
Let's make everyone's day, everybody. And again, for some reason, movies, making your day. I brought for some reason, Clint Eastwood to mind, but that's a whole nother type of make my day. We don't want to go there. Hey, Jason, this has been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed hearing your story and hearing your perspectives. And I think it was very valuable for my community. So thank you for being on the Workplace Innovator podcast.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Mike.
And thank you all for listening once again or watching on YouTube. Are you a subscriber at YouTube at the Aptura YouTube channel? It's relatively new. We are posting these videos in their entirety. Please go over there, subscribe, hit that like button, and tell everybody you heard it here on the Workplace Innovator podcast. I love these conversations, and I hope you are enjoying them. If you did find something of value today, please, would you consider sharing this podcast with a colleague or a friend, anyone who might like to join us as we continue on our journey to encourage and inspire you to be a workplace innovator. Peace out, everybody.